Look out, y'all. Ashy Knuckles in the building. Let's talk some of this here boxing. Name of this video, I'm gonna name this mug is "Can You Put 'Em On, Please?" And I'm not trying to make no new segments or anything like that, because I haven't really been into it like that in years. But I wanted to be a little different and talk about some fighters as opposed to some fights coming up. First guy I want to talk about is up and coming guy, and even though he's somewhat touted by some websites, some quote unquote news outlets, he should be talked about a bunch more as opposed to who actually is highly touted out there in the sport of boxing for whatever reason. Maybe they feel certain boxers are more marketable or have more appeal in terms of filling arenas, filling seats, selling tickets, what have you. But they really ain't bout shit. It's really a big attempt to build them. And if you've been around, when they're trying to build fighters and they're assessing them as they go, they build them against bums. But anyway, that's not the case for this guy I'm about to mention. This guy is a second generation fighter trained by his dad. His dad happened to be one of the best middleweights at the time, where middleweights were very, very recognized within the city of Philadelphia. And the guy I want to talk about is Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart, super middleweight. And the reason why I want to talk about him is not only because he's actually a good fighter coming up, trying to make his name, trying to get TV dates, trying to showcase his skills on a big stage. Of course, the more people see you, the more likely you will advance to a different phase or a different stage in the world of boxing. I did a video years ago called The It Factor, and even though promotional companies do their due diligence in terms of doing research on potential niche markets that they can tap into to sell their fighter to the audience that's in that market, and they do what they can to see if they can make a star out of the guy who they signed, one of their hot shot fighters. Whether it's like Puerto Rico did with Miguel Cotto, like Top Rank did with Miguel Cotto, Don King with Trinidad, Bob Arum did with Hoya, and various other examples. But in that video called The It Factor, which probably is still up, no one really knows what it is that attracts the people to the venue and the masses. They can all do their due diligence and do their homework, but no one really knows what it is that a guy has to have for the people to be attracted to him in the masses, because people for years thought Floyd Mayweather did not have the it factor, but he proved that wrong. So the only thing you can do is keep going out there, putting on your best performance, rack up victories, and see what the fans think about you. But anyway, back to the story at hand. Jesse Hart, solid fighter. He's a second generation fighter. His dad he's not dead. His dad is Eugene Cyclone Hart of Philadelphia. Like I said, at a time where Philadelphia was infamous, better yet famous, for their middleweights. And I don't even know why I would say famous, because wasn't nobody trying to fight them, no way. But the lineage, the tutelage, the knowledge that was passed down to him has to be on a different level than just about everybody else out there who didn't have that type of upbringing. We've seen guys in similar circumstances like Floyd Mayweather, who's a second generation fighter, and many others. Well, better yet, not many others. But there are other examples of guys whose father was a really good fighter, and they assume, followed in the footsteps. Didn't always pan out for guys who fought in that manner, who trying to follow in their father's footsteps. As you can see, Ronald Hearns didn't turn out to be as good as Pops. Actually, Pops Tommy was the reason why I'm even doing this video right now. He's the reason why I'm even in boxing whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here or there. Um, Jesse Hart has really good skills. He's a guy who boxes on the move. Um, he don't have enough fights for me to say he's a legit boxer puncher, but he will sit down on his shots. He can get you hurt. I love the way he places those body shots. He boxes behind a long jab, and he comes to the ring in tip-top shape. And when you look at, not saying look at his body, but when you look at his build, he's actually built like a fighter, as opposed to a guy who comes into the ring muscle bound. Weightlifting and boxing are two separate sports. They should be respected as such. Just because a guy may come to the ring ripped, that don't mean he in shape. Jesse Hart is a guy that's in shape. You know what I'm saying? He's not necessarily ripped, but you can tell by his physique he's in shape. And for a guy that utilizes the whole ring and moves while he fights, you got to be in shape because it takes a lot of energy just to do that while throwing punches. I ain't even get to the fact that you got to dodge and avoid punches that come back at you in the process, which also takes energy, especially a lot of energy you exert when guys try to hold you and muscle you up on the inside. That takes energy. Guys wear you down like that. So if you ain't in shape, it's going to reveal itself in the ring. But like I said before, he comes in shape. Beautiful jab. Good right hand. Good hook. I guess he's trying to follow in the footsteps of his dad with that hook. And the guy is undefeated. He has less than 20 fights, but they're stepping him up in class. I think he signed with Top Rank, but he's not, in my opinion, he's not really getting that really good push that other fighters get, and I don't understand why. He should be getting that good push. Now, when I assess his fight game, at least from my point of view, there's not really much that I think that he does wrong. I'm really critical of guys who graduate from the Roy Jones School of Boxing. There's only one Roy Jones. So I'm not really fond of guys who fight with their hands low. You know what I'm saying? That's not fundamental. When you go into the gym, absolutely nobody teaches you to fight like that. But you can't hold it against these guys who their idols are. And Roy Jones made it look good. He made it look real easy. Fighting with his hands at his waist, throwing jabs from damn near his toes, seemed like jab coming from way down here. That ain't the way you throw no jab. And that's not the way Jesse Hart throws a jab, but he has a tendency to drop his hands. Good thing about him, he has cat-like reflexes and he will move his damn head. And he moves all the time. He's not a stationary target as some guys are. But the only big flaw right now that I see in his game, and possibly not a flaw that anybody within the weight division can exploit at this juncture, is that he look like he don't want no inside action whatsoever. I don't see no devastating inside game from him. But at that weight, I really don't see no devastating inside game from anyone outside of Andre Ward, who can fight on the inside. And Fraud's got a pretty good inside game too, but inside and outside defense is just not there for him. His defense is his chin, and he awkward. That's his defense too. It's not really the easiest to get good shots on Froch. I mean, if you get it, then you got it, but it's not the easiest to hit this guy, or he wouldn't even be Carl Froch, the fighter that he is right now. And I like Carl Froch because he's a guy who fights from overseas and Nottingham, England, or UK. I'm sorry for the international fans. My geography is all fucked up. But I've got a big respect for Carl Froch because unlike a lot of guys who come from overseas, he came across that pond early trying to test himself against the best in the United States. Like when he came over across the pond to fight Jermaine Taylor in a fight he was not pegged to win. And that was actually a fight he was getting his ass whooped. And he would come back to win with a beautiful knockout, which kind of opened everybody's eyes to Carl Froch. But anyway, like I said before, nobody in that division, I think, can really exploit a vulnerability on fighting on the inside. Maybe Arthur Abraham, Felix Sturm, maybe. But, those guys are not spring chickens. So Jesse Hart is a young guy. He's still on the way up, and boy, is this boy confident. Man, this dude just recently just got into a little verbal altercation with Jalen Love. And I know, if you know like I know, if you know like a fighter know, I'm not a fighter, but if you know like a fighter know, any opportunity they can get where they can showcase their skills on the biggest stage, they're all in. And as of right now, the biggest stage in boxing is upon us with the Mayweather versus Pacquiao pay-per-view event, in which I think both top-ranking Mayweather promotions, it's my margarita, are going to be filling that undercard up. So naturally, Jesse Hart called out Jalen Love, who was within and around his weight. Actually, I think Jalen may fight at 60, but initially he was at 68. So I don't think it would be a big deal to go back to 68. I don't know. Maybe they'll work it out. Maybe they won't. But Jalen is not coming off of a string of victories. In fact, he's probably at a stage where he's second guessing his own talents because he just got knocked out against a guy he was supposed to be looking good against, a guy he was in a fight to showcase his skills against, and he got clipped. So to be honest, I really don't see that fight happening. But I would love to see Jesse Hart on that undercard with, I don't want to say a legit threat, but at least a guy who can actually test him. And just recently, he just got into a fight with Derek Finley, who's a journeyman, but he tough though. He like the super middleweight version of John Brown. I was just talking about John Brown in another video. Derek Finley like the super middleweight version of John Brown. He tough. He come to fight. He durable. He conditioned, and it's hard to look good against him because it's hard to hurt that dude, and he keep coming forward. But Jesse Hart boxed his ears off. He didn't have virtually no trouble. And the times that Derek Finley got on the inside, Jesse Hart do like most guys do who really don't have a throwed inside game. He just tied him up until the referee separated him. Now, he didn't just hold like crazy like Amir Khan do on the inside. But he did what he had to do to have the referee reset them, and then Jesse Hart got back on his wheels, start boxing behind the jab beautifully, setting up combinations, beautiful combinations. In fact, displaying that great hand speed in front of the crowd, and winning the fight just very handily. But I would like to see this guy more. He don't get a lot of TV time, so my verdict on it is, can you put this guy on? Which is the whole reason for this video. Can you please put this guy on? Like I said, he got tutelage coming from his dad, Eugene Cyclone Hart, from the infamous middleweights of Philadelphia during a time where middleweights they just grew on trees. You had Cyclone Hart, you had Kitten Hayward, of course, you had Bobby Boogaloo Watts, you had of course, the name that gets regurgitated left and right now, name I just mentioned a minute ago, which is badass Benny Briscoe. You also had George Benton. George Benton was a solid middleweight from Philly. And everybody knows the most famous middleweight from Philadelphia, at least at this current time. The guy that cannot be dictated, or the guy that cannot be, defined by a weight class at this juncture. And that's possibly the best middleweight to ever come from Philadelphia, and that's Bernard Hopkins. But there's a good deal of knowledge in that city, and it's been passed down, and I would like to see if this guy Jesse Hart is a good. So put him on. Can you please put him on? Last guy I want to talk about, because I'm not trying to drag this thing out, because you know me, when I get the yapping, and I've been drinking too, shit, it may be 3 hours I'm on this video. I want to talk about Brad King Solomon. Brad King Solomon. That's a guy you don't see on TV. That's a guy that's one of the real killers, in my opinion. Don't and never had a high profile promoter. In fact, in terms of promotions, a while ago when he was on, he was being promoted by the Heavyweight Factory. That was his promoters, and it turns out he was getting fucked by them, fucked out of money. And he would have a layoff, and at a time where he should be getting his big push. especially when he just boxed the shit out of Demetrius Hopkins. I think he was the first one to give Demetrius Hopkins his first loss, and that's Bernard Hopkins' nephew, who can actually box. You know, he can actually box pretty good. And Brad Solomon is, you know, he's a conventional fighter. He kind of a bit unorthodox. He's another one that graduated from the Roy Jones School of Boxing, but it seemed like when I seen him last, he was holding his hands up very well. Actually, it was a long time that I had not seen him in the ring, and I had happened to go by Savannah's years ago, and he was in the gym, and he was sparring with Arislani Lara and the Charlos, you know, and I was in there like, damn, y'all got King Solomon up in this bitch. I'm not gonna tell you who told me what I'm about to tell you, but this guy told me, yeah, Ash, and he's been getting ass whoopings in this motherfucker too. But and you know, I wish I would have got all the footage, because I've been in there so many years, man. But they're really funny about you taping the sparring. You know, they'll let you take pictures, but how often do y'all go to a website and look at pictures? Now, I've been uploading pictures of sparring for years. Now, don't nobody go look for that shit. You know, they'll go and look for weigh-in photos and, you know, maybe photos of a press conference and stuff like that. But not many people go and search for sparring pictures, but they will look at sparring footage. But you just don't get sparring footage down here, well, at least at Savannah's or at Plex, really. But I wasn't able to show the footage, a lot of the footage from, you know, the sparring. And he was, like I said, he was sparring Laura, he was sparring the Charlos. Well, he was sparring Jamal. I don't even think Jamal was there that day, but it was Jamal and Laura. Everybody was sparring each other. Everybody was sparring each other that day, which is normal. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I interviewed him that day too, because he had been out for a long time, and he had, you know, talked about his new contracts he had just secured, and that he's back at it. Y'all may can check my video archive. I'm sure I got it in there somewhere, or maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, Brad Solomon can fight. He's still undefeated right now. I think he's like 25-0. He's not getting no younger. He's like 30 years old, something like that. You know, back in the game, he used to fight. Used to have his, you know, he had goals across the front. He can use the ring. He can fight on the inside, fight on the outside. He used angles very well. He ain't scared of shit in this world. You know what I'm saying? He's a tough guy. He can take a really, really decent punch. Not saying that's what you want to be known for. You want to be known for a guy that don't have to take punches. But if you hit him, he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every man can be hurt. But it's good when you got a fighter on your hands that if he faces some adversity, he can weather the storm and keep fighting. And in my opinion, that's Brad Solomon. And yes, his career had been derailed momentarily when he was with the heavyweight factory. They were stealing his money. You know, they gave him a little hand-me-down Mercedes-Benz to drive around in, and just hand-me-down everything. And that's not cool, man, because it's the fighters that's the one taking all the gambles, taking all the risk. You know, and it's really unfortunate. But I think right now he's in a good place. I haven't seen him in a while, but my face haven't been seen inside the gyms in a little minute, because you know I don't even be in my city all the time because of, you know, my field that I'm in right now. You know, beforehand, long time ago when I was like maybe first plugging in with, well, maybe not first plugging in with boxing, but one of my first careers, so to speak, I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. I wasn't in the oil industry. I wasn't messing with plants and stuff. I was really teaching at that time, which is why I did videos the way I did it back in the past. I would kind of be like a more professional setting. I wouldn't curse. You know, I wouldn't really, I wouldn't show my feelings online and stuff if somebody really got up under my skin. That's because when you teach, you got to sign a code of ethics. And I didn't want anything to come back on me because of something I put on the video. I have children, so of course I didn't want to end up losing my job in that career, because that was my career at that time. So I did it in that format, all pleasant and professional. But now, ain't shit you can do that can knock me off my seat in my profession right now. Ain't no code of ethics. You just stay off drugs and stay out of jail. That's all you got to do. to be in my field. Stay off drugs, stay out of jail, and know your craft. And I know my craft, so I'm not worried about anything getting back. Get back. I'm a contract. I work for me, so I'm not really tripping. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm a little bit more loose with it presently as I did than what I did back in the game. So anyway, I don't know where I went with that. I've been drinking, so I done got off topic. Anyway, Brad Solomon, man, can you please put my guy on, man? If there's anybody who should be making their claim to be within the top 10 or getting a shot with somebody at the top 10 or in the top 5 of the welterweight division so he can actually realize his dream in fighting for a world title, possibly securing a title shot and winning it, it's Brad Solomon. I mean, how often do we see these guys get title shots when they done a damn thing to deserve it? And when they get the title, they don't fight no damn body. At least you ain't gonna get that with Brad Solomon. The dude will fight anybody. He throwback, you know what I'm saying? The guy, he come out of Louisiana. He ain't from New Orleans. Where he from? Baton Rouge. I think he from Baton Rouge. I think he from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Good fighter, ready to fight anybody. Can you please put my guy on? And I'm gonna leave it right there. Like I said, I've been drinking. I don't know how many inaccuracies I may have in this video. If you find anything, like always, you can do a video, leave a comment or whatever. Just don't disrespect me. We're good. I don't care who disagree with me. But if your first interaction with me as a man is contentious, it ain't gonna end well. I'm probably gonna block you. You know what I'm saying? Which I've been doing with some other idiot on another video. But anyway, leave it. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment, rate, subscribe. I don't give a damn. I don't do this for anything. I do this because I love boxing. Our boxing circles are too far and spread out in our country. You know what I'm saying? You can't just up and go somewhere and just start talking about boxing and think somebody gonna be able to get with you on that level. You know, they really don't know. They start making shit up. So that's why we do what we do online, because at least in our community, the YTBC, everybody is familiar with the topics that you talk about, and they can at least communicate and converse with you on some level to where the conversation is not, you know, meaningless. And like I said, that's all I got for you. Please put my guys on. Put Jesse Hart on. He come from a good tutelage of boxing that spans Philadelphia, from his legendary trainer, which is his father, Cyclone Hart. Please put on Brad King Solomon, a guy who had a promising career which was derailed because of contractual issues out of his control. Fighters only fight. They really don't know the ins and outs and details of the terms of contracts. That's what they hire guys for. Now, when the guys that you hire are fucking you, then it's really that much difficult to actually get the fights you need, get the funding that you need, so you can pursue your career and possibly live your dream of becoming a world champion. And I'm going to go ahead and throw an honorable mention in to my man Javier Fortuna. Now, he ain't inactive. I think he fought like 5 times last year. But if there's anybody ready for a title shot at that weight, I think he at 30 now. If there's anybody ready for a title shot at that weight, it's Javier Fortuna. Would you please put my man on? From Dominican Republic, ain't scared of a damn thing. The fights that he was given where he was supposedly stepping up, he came up big in it, stepped up in a major way. And some of those fights he won with just a spectacular knockout, or he won real big. And the guys that were champion at that weight ain't champion no more at that weight. So hopefully the guys at that weight that are champion, can give my man a title shot so he can realize his dream, become a champion, and actually make for some entertaining fights within around the lightweight region, you know, the junior lightweight region, because I think Javier Fortuna going back to 126 is completely out of the question. But that's all I got for you guys right now. If I think of some more stuff, you know, I'll start popping a video. It don't really get on and pop until next week in my field. As I'm a contractor, I work whenever the work is present, and if the work ain't present, I try to secure more certification so I can get paid more. And holla at your boy, dude.